What's happening, everyone? It's your favorite shaman, Amen, your man, Copus Millenni, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Erica Lisa.
Hi, guys. How are you?
And today, our guest on the show is Abraham Boche.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for inviting me out to your wonderful podcast, bro. Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
I know last time I totally was going to do it, and I just got in this car, and I was like, I really wanted to come and drink with you guys and have so much fun, but I was like, I have to go do something after, and I can't drink, and so it just totally messed it up. So I owe you guys a drink night, and maybe we can do another podcast.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I would love that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a totally different vibe with a few drinks in us. Me and Erica admittedly already had a couple of glasses of wine. We weren't really sure. So we got wine. When you're not sure if the people that are coming over go with wine, because wine is like, oh, they're not really drinking. They're just having some wine or having a beer. You can go either way.
Well, last time when you said that you got a bottle of Kettle One, I was like, oh, yeah. God. I was like, yeah, it was about to be a good night. I was like, maybe it's good that I'm not going tonight and we'll have to catch him on there. So when you called today and you were like, let's do it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could do that.
But you were out handling your business. You had a spot that night, right?
I had to take care of some business and some other stuff that I had to do. Something that I got mixed up in, and I had to go return something that I had and that I wasn't supposed to have. And I was just like, if I go do the show and I drink with them, I won't be able to do that. I have to get this off my hands. So I just was like, okay, we're gonna have to reschedule. But it was spur of the moment, though. But the thing, just the fact that you invited me, I was like, oh, yes, I felt special. So thank you for inviting me out.
Well, you're special.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you on Stupid Central, I have to say. Like, I am so sad that I haven't had the opportunity to perform with you on Stupid Central. I'm so sad. Like, every time I've gone to do it, you're either done or...
I was in Mexico last time. I was supposed to be there, but I was in Mexico.
When I was there. No, not the last time.
Oh, yeah, that time. But then there was another time that you filmed. Oh, yeah, you're right. Was that when Kristen Lundberg was there?
Yes.
Kristen Lundberg? Okay. Yeah, I remember one time I was supposed to be there and I wasn't able to be there. I was kind of bummed out, but,
I was really bummed out.
Yeah.
It's all good, though. We're only 5 episodes in on Stupid Central. I think it's going to be a show that, has a long shelf life. It's a fun show. When I watch it, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. And I'm the only one that's watched it at this point, like from beginning to end.
That's funny.
And I love podcasts. That's how I got word of Aphrodite. And then, I got word of you indirectly from listening to podcasts. But this is something different. Stupid Central
way different.
Is just something kind of like a Eric Andre, meets...
I'm always going to get mad when you say that. I don't really know.
I can't really put a pulse on what the show is, but that's a testament to Aphrodite's creativity.
Right.
Because she was able to put together this organized chaos of a show, and I've done my best at just trying to help her do whatever it is that she wanted to do.
Right.
And that's why I think it's coming out like a really fun show. And
I'm going to be honest with you. When I first was doing the show, I was like, what is going on? What is going on here? But months before, Aphrodite had told me that she wanted to do Stupid Central. And just to see it unfold, to meet both of you, and to see how you guys have edited it, and to just look at myself on screen, I'm like, I could be funnier, but I'm just so stoned. I'm just so in my zone that it's actually funny. Aphrodite does her thing. The other guests do their thing, and I'm just me.
The food aspect is also kind of funny, because it's like you're normally not just munching out while you're doing a show. Unless they got that hot wing show, but they kind of edit out a lot of the eating portion. But you hear a lot of jaws, smashing into chicken and drinks being poured and weed being smoked. So it's real. It's almost like what are those kind of shows you like to watch on YouTube where you hear the scratching?
ASMR. What is that?
ASMR is, hold on, so I don't sound like an idiot. I have to Google it so I say it properly.
ASMR. It's just a lot of fun.
What is ASMR?
Of therapy?
It's autonomous sensory meridian response.
Okay.
So it's basically bitches scratching their nails, whispering softly into a microphone.
Hold on, it's basically
ruffling leaves and making all these audio sensual things. Like, it gave me a hard on one time, honestly. Okay. She fell asleep and I was just listening to it.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell am I listening to?
Just so you guys know, it's not just bitches doing it, there's men doing it too. That's terrible.
Well, they're bitches too for doing it.
No, it's not. For me, I have terrible anxiety. I actually take Xanax. And for my anxiety, it's so bad that sometimes I need it. And this actually makes me go to sleep. And this is what Copus got a hard on listening to. He's so ridiculous. I don't even know if he got a hard on. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
I tried Xanax the other day for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Are you supposed to sniff it?
No.
Or can you?
I don't know.
I think you probably can. And don't play it because we don't want to be pulled if we put this on YouTube. So cut it out.
What?
No, you will be.
Oh, what is that? Well, anyways, I see what you mean why you got a hard on, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said you got a hard on.
I know he said that.
But yeah, so it's chicken. It's chicken, Aphrodite. Have you guys ever thought of adding sound effects? I don't know, because it's just...
Well, one thing is, I'm in terms of post-production or a production period, Aphrodite and me are just... a two-person crew.
Got it.
And we want to keep putting episodes out. So when it comes to putting a lot of effects, you almost need to add another member into the team. Right. Or you're going to have a big gap in between seasons.
Wait, I'm there. I just can't do any of the editing work. So
every single clip.
You're part of the talent. You're a regular on the show. But in terms of the editing and uploading,
producer,
I don't do that part.
Producer, assistant, support group.
It would also be cool to have a second camera on it, so we can cut away to some close-ups instead of only because when I go in for it. We only have one camera, so when I do go in for it, if I miss something else, there's just nothing that got captured. Right. So it's cool, and it's going to definitely feel a little bit janky, but I think that's part of the charm of the show. Right. The audio is going to sound good, the video quality is good, but it's single camera, and as a cameraman, that's the only creative aspect I really have inside the show. I am choosing to zoom in a little bit too close on Aphrodite's lipstick that's smeared for portions of the show. Her teeth. Or, crumbs that might be on someone's, her
my
boobs
beard.
or your beard.
Hold on, did you see when everyone's shirt was dirty?
That was a different episode, I think, with Darius.
No, Darius isn't on that. He's not on there, but that other kid, Derek, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Sorry, he was a very cool head. I forget.
But he had grease and shit all over his shirt, and Aphrodite has cake and shit, and flour all over her tits.
Every single clip
Mia Mars is there.
Mia Mars, oh my gosh, she makes the funniest faces also, man. She has a funny face to begin with. She reminds me of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Is it Mr. Burns? I don't know what.
That's who
she's
it is.
Fucking awesome though. I fucking love her. I don't know. I fucking love her. I think she's amazing. But every single clip that I've seen you guys post of Stupid Central is hilarious. It's just something out of those three people there, one person is doing something funny to me each episode that I've seen. So I'm just somebody's gonna make you laugh on that show, and I think they're fucking awesome, man. It's great to be a part of that.
Abraham,
how long have you been doing comedy, Abraham?
Me, I've been doing, I started 6 years ago. 6 years ago, but
that's not that long.
It's not that long ago. But the way I try to explain to people is that when I started, I did it a show one the first time. Then like 2 weeks later, I did another one. Then like 3 weeks later. Then like a month later. Then like 2 months later. Then maybe 3 shows in a month. So it went on like that for the last maybe the first 3 years. And then when I started getting better, then I started getting more consistent. Then I started getting paid. Then I started traveling, you know, and things like that. But it was just a process, man.
It was a slow build up for those first few years, just getting yourself on stage. And I think anyone that's ever done anything in front of an audience can relate to, you're going to really be terrible at it at first.
Right.
You know, and that's an uncomfortable feeling, is going back for more pain, going back for more punishment.
Oh my gosh. It was difficult for me. We literally be driving. I'd rent a car. We drive up north to Fresno. And I'd be like, hey guys, why don't you guys just go ahead and do the show and you guys keep the rental. I'll take a Greyhound back and, you know, you guys, let's do it like that. And I'd be like, yeah, you guys go ahead and do the show. Like, I didn't even want to go.
Oh, yeah.
I was just so terrified that I didn't want to be a part of nothing, even though I rented the car.
With it.
I wasn't. And I would always tell myself, because I was so terrified, I'd be like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this? It's like, I'm so terrified. Like, if I knew I was doing a show in 2 weeks, the whole 2 weeks, I'd wake up thinking about it. I'd go to sleep thinking about it, and I'd just be terrified. Like, you know, so, but, you know, there came a point where I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I want to make these people laugh.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I can't wait till I get on this microphone, because I know that I'm going to make people laugh. And so once I started, and I also had to accept the fact that I had to make fun of myself, because when I first started and people would laugh, I would get offended. And I'd be like, what the fuck are they laughing at? Like, are they laughing at me or are they laughing at the joke? And, and it was bad. And then finally I was like, no, stupid. They're supposed to laugh at you. Now I'd be like, oh shit, they're supposed to laugh at me. So then that's when I started thinking, okay, you know what? Well, maybe I should start making fun of myself. So I started making fun of myself. And then that's when it opened up a whole new fucking world, when I just was able to make fun of myself, feel comfortable on stage, knowing that I'm going to go up there and make fun of myself and make these people laugh at my own expense. That's when I started to really, really understand comedy and accept it and not be scared and hyperventilating and be trying to run like a little bitch, you know. But I'm having fun with it now, and I don't get scared the way that I used to. But I used to get shit-faced drunk just to get on stage.
Really? It's a weird existence to be in a place where you're going to make fun of yourself and you're going to bring funny, especially as like a grown man. Like, I feel like when you're in like your 20s, like it's almost natural just to be like, oh, we're supposed to be having fun. But when you're a grown man, like it's almost like a stigma to being grown, and like you're not supposed to be fucking around.
Yeah.
So how do you get past that? Because I know, you still got a day job, you're getting paid for some of these gigs, but you're in that transitional phase where, you might get that break any day. You don't know what opportunity you're running into, but until then, you gotta kind of walk the line. So how do you differentiate the authority that you have to present inside your other field, and then the goofiness that you project on stage?
So I'm really calm at work. I let my employees and my staff do their job. I do my job, which is making sure they get paid correctly, their vacation, their sick pay. I make sure that they get paid. Right. And that they're protected and they're safe. Yeah. And whatever issues, but I don't go out there, I don't clean, I don't mop, I don't sweep. Sometimes I'll do it, I'll pick something up, because at the end of the day, it's a reflection of, my sure. But I do my job with the calmness, and I always have comedy in my mind. I like to have fun with my employees. I like to joke with them. I like to see them smile. I like to make them laugh. I brush a lot, and they come at me mad at me, but by the time we're done talking, they're laughing, we're laughing, and we're joking around, because half the time they just, I don't know what the fuck their problem is, but half the time they just maybe have issues at home, and then they come and they try to take it out on me and the job. So I'm able to always have the mindset that I'm a comedian first, and this is my 9 to 5 to pay for my bills. But when I get into that comedy mode, when I hit that stage, I know that yeah, I'm a project manager here and I do this, but this is what I'm really trying to do. So I already know that, I need to bring the funny, and I need to make fun of myself. I need to, make fun of, I don't like to hurt people's feelings. So I don't like to hurt people's feelings when I'm on stage and roast people, unless it's like a battle. But I just know that once I hit the stage, it's time to perform and be funny and bring out those jokes and improvise and be creative and just bring that light out of me that shines so that people feel good. I want to make people feel good. I want to make them laugh. I want them to like me. I want them to come up and be like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I want to be like, "Sure," because at the end of the day, I got to go back to my fucking job.
Yeah.
I got to go back to my job, and I'm like, fuck, and I just have something to look forward to, knowing that I'm going to go on stage and be able to perform and make people laugh, So
I have to say that's a really lovely perspective to put it in. Being someone who's performed on stage and all that. I never looked at it like that. Like, I love to perform and make people feel good and do all those things as well.
Right.
But I never looked at it like, dang, that's something to look forward to. Because if you're having stress at your regular 9 to 5, you could really go in your mind and be like, whatever, I'll use that for material, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used quite a bit of material from work. I've used quite a bit, and although sometimes it's very painful going to work because, at any given day, you could be working and then not be working, so that's always been a fear of mine. But lately, I've been like, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to be okay. I have talent that I can continue to use to make people laugh. I have this background experience that I can take pretty much anywhere. So, for a long time I didn't have furniture in my home because I was afraid that I was going to lose everything like I did in the past. So, it's just weird. It's weird. So I'm just trying to find myself in this comedy. Like I was telling you guys, even going to the comedy store, being intimidated by all the people, all the white people, because I'm just like, I felt like the outcast, because you don't see very many people that look like me, bald-headed, goatee, up in that place. And I just grew up just overall being a very shy person. So, now that I'm barely accepting that I do comedy and I enjoy going up and making people laugh and less worrying about my job and just be more comfortable firing people, suspending people quitting on me. Like, I'm finally having peace with all that, because I don't know if it comes with age, but when I was younger, I couldn't do this. I couldn't make fun of myself. Like I said, even when I started doing comedy, the audience, I would make them laugh, and just that laughter, them looking and staring at me, was very difficult for me to accept and to understand. But something clicked in my head and was like, no, stupid, they're supposed to laugh. So, it's just, as I get older, it's easier to, as an adult, to say, okay, you're doing comedy. It's okay for them to laugh at you, and just let it be a true story, or you tell the stories that, are funny, that you've experienced, that, people can relate to. So just kind of, opening up with my personal life and things like that. And I still have some stuff that I haven't talked about, that, like the other night I did the show and I was like, okay, I need to talk about this. And I got up there and I still did my old boring set that people really didn't laugh. Like, I did my last joke and I had it. I was like totally bombing the whole time because it was a room full of comics and a few audience members, and I was getting laughs, but not like I normally do in front of a real audience. But my last joke killed, and I was like, okay, at least I got that one in. But it's just, it's a whole new world.
So there's some things that you haven't been able to process the funny in, and you can see it inside your brain, how like this is a very special circumstance that only I've experienced, and no one else probably has ever even, thought about this. But you still need to present it. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's funny, right? But there's always a way to make it funny.
Right.
So that's where the difficulty comes on, right? Because you know the story, and Erica is experimenting with being a stand-up comic now, and I know she's got some wild stories.
I will tell you, I admire you for doing it, because I have so much shit. Like, I could show you books of shit that I have.
You've written?
I was a porn star, a hooker. I mean, I've sucked dick for 19 years. You don't think I have a story? I got a story about everything.
Yeah.
I was involved with the mob.
What was the funniest dick you sucked?
The funniest or the weirdest?
The weirdest.
Definitely mine.
No, not yours. What?
My mom.
These one people, a condom's baggy on. When a condom is baggy, that is when it's funny. Weird.
That is funny.
So you have to pretend. There's a whole thing you go through. Like, so there's situations, like, I'm not even being mean, because there's people that could be listening, and this could be their situation. So a regular size condom, not a Magnum, just like you go buy Lifestyles or whatever brand. No sponsorship. You literally have to take your fingers and hold it because it's still baggy. So that is the most uncomfortable, probably, like in a sensitivity or a...
You didn't have like a little baggie where you're like, okay, small, medium, or supersize?
Would that make you comfortable?
Yeah, I'd be like, well, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it was your dick I was sucking, would you be comfortable with me being like, oh, this one doesn't fit, let me get a smaller one, sir?
I'll be like, sure, safety first.
It would be weird.
It would be weird, but...
You just hold it,
but see,
and
that's
you
what's
be
funny.
polite.
If you talk about that, and you that's where you gotta be creative and be like, because, I mean, come on, think about it. No, that doesn't happen, but you have to do that. But
it does happen.
If you did have like a...
I think if you have a dick that's smaller than like 3 inches, like hard, that... You should get away with fucking 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds just because, like, proportionally, like, your dick is maybe meant for, like, a younger, like, girl that hasn't had much experience. So,
really?
I think that before we start getting... We should measure his dick. We need to measure the dick.
Should fuck a 15-year-old, you weirdo?
Well,
we need to measure the dick and find out.
There's a comedian. I'm going to say his name.
I hope he's kidding.
There's a comic.
Really? I'm the one that's all against, like, the Me Too movement, and you would just bring this up now? You're crazy.
No. There's a comic that came from Arizona to visit me. He comes with my friend Ruben Bogian. We do videos. One of his videos just went viral, like over 1 million views, like in a week. But our comic friend that just started doing comedy, he is just like so gung-ho about doing comedy. He will go to any length. So he thought that it would be funny. Excuse me. Ooh, that pizza's coming up. Ooh, that was some good pizza. Yeah. He thought it would be funny to show all of us his dick.
Okay.
He was like, guys, I have a small dick. And we're like, oh, shut up. Really? And so he does this, and literally, it was like a baby dick.
Yeah, it looks like that.
What the fuck was that? Like, is he doing crystal meth?
No.
Have you ever had a situation
you guys,
where your dick shrinked like way smaller than it normally
crystal
is?
meth.
Was it meth that did to you?
I sniffed meth
crystal
to
meth
lose weight, and my dick
Red Bull.
didn't shrink.
One time I was going for like 19 years old, and I thought I had an STD.
You thought you had an STD?
Yeah, I had some bumps on my dick, so I went to go to Planned Parenthood, and the nurse went to look at my dick, and I was so embarrassed and nervous about it, and she was just this big, like heavy, like a probably 50-year-old rough white lady that just was giving me like a dirty look.
Expression was
just like, so when I pulled my dick out, I swear to God, like it was 4 times smaller than I had ever seen it. It was embarrassingly small, and she had to like literally like
pinch it,
like
and pull the skin.
pinch and pull the skin to like look, and like I was like, this right here is why I need to wear condoms now. Like that's like God like slapping me and saying like, you need to learn your fucking lesson.
Yeah.
So that's not an uncommon thing. So as this person that did this work, a lot of men, like, even though they hire me, they're paying me good money, like way over $1,000.
Yeah, wow.
Okay? then you...
I've never paid that much for a hooker before.
Okay, well, I'm a fancy hooker. I'm fancy Nancy hooker at the time. Not now, but you really do. There's like a lot of skin. You pull it back, and then you're still trying to pull this and do this and get him, make them feel comfortable. But it does, it's a process.
Have you ever been with a hooker before?
I have.
No, I've never been with the hooker.
You go to Tijuana a lot.
You really have not?
But I haven't.
How do you know?
Matter of fact, the other day I was in Tijuana and we went to the strip joint.
By the way, our dog's just licking him, so we know he's lying. Our dog is licking him.
No, I've never been with the hooker.
Yeah.
Like if it was a hooker, I didn't pay.
Right, but it might have been with a hooker.
It might have been a hooker.
Okay.
Like I'm so okay.
Well, I'll tell you about, have you ever paid for something?
I'm so fucking square. Like I was at a strip joint the other night. And one of the hooker dancers came up to me and she got between my legs and I'm thinking, fuck, bitch, I don't got no money to give you right now like that. So, and her friend comes up, she's like, show me your boobs. And she pops her boobs out and her fucking boobs popped out, right? And it just popped out like, in the cartoons when the eyeballs pop out. That's how it was. That's what I was thinking in my head, like, fuck. So I'm like, fuck, I'm not even going to get hard right now. Like, this bitch is going to want to do all this stuff. And I'm like, so it was very awkward for me. And I was just like, I'm not going to pay. So I'm like, I didn't know how to tell her, hey,
I've been in that position. When you don't have the money for it, then it's very fucking awkward.
I mean, I had $5.
But if you had the money, there's been plenty of times, obviously, where you have had the money, you just never have been like, shit, you know what? I'm lonely and it's Friday night. My fucking homies are pieces of shit. This girl was supposed to meet up with me, but she's being a bitch. You know what? I'm just going to treat myself tonight. Get a little pussy. Never done that before?
No, because I usually find someone that is down to just kick it, do it for free, get some drinks, smoke some weed and just,
You never had a no-show, though, in that situation where you were planning and then she's sick or,
I go on to the next one.
Okay.
I go on to the next one. I find and I just do it like that. But as far as being like, no, let me drive down the street and pick
or what
up a
about
hooker.
Like,
Usually they come to you.
You hit a dry spot inside your life.
Hold on, there's a different variable of hooker. It's not just like we drive down the street and look for a prostitute or sex worker.
Yeah, I wouldn't need the kind of hooker that
I
comes
just want to
me.
let everyone know that was not the kind I was. I never worked the street. Just to get that out there.
I'm not talking about you.
I'm just saying, though, because this is a very...
circumstance. People could look you up. You got your online presence and your story's been well documented. But I'm just saying, like, never in a situation where you're like... Every man hits, like, dry spells. You just can't get laid for a couple of months. For whatever reason, things aren't just panning out. Maybe your car gets taken away because you got that DUI. The girls ain't feeling you anymore because you got this, like, dark, cloud, like, following you around. Like, you got bad luck on your name or something.
I think before I end up, doing that, I just look and look, if it's that bad, then I'll just have to rub one out, and then if that still, and if I'm still not satisfied, rub another one out, maybe put a finger in my butt. I don't know, just to make it exciting. But no, I don't
do that.
Does that make it more exciting?
No, I don't.
Have you never had a day where your butthole just itches? And you're just like, hey, maybe if I rub up on this, it might feel better. It's itching. But why is it itching like that?
No. But all jokes aside, I can't think of a time where I was like, I'm just gonna pay for a hooker. No. Like even going to TJ, it's everywhere. They come and they offer us. They're like, here, $30. Oh no, thank you. Yeah, $30. Oh no, thank you. Okay, 20. No, okay, 10. Oh, 5.
10?
Yeah, they go all the way down.
Really?
Yeah. Because over there, they get paid $10 a day to do an 8-hour job. Like $50 a week is like minimum what they make out there. Like if you make more than 10, 15, 20, $30 a day, you're decent. Because you're making like a couple hundred, a week or so, and then that's decent. But over there, it's like you can get an apartment for like $200, $300, $100. It's cheap out there. pretty much the peso, it's 18 pesos to the dollar. So, you know, pretty much, like, let's just put it like this. A can of, well, we pay $1.99 for, a liter of, not even a liter, you know, the Coke or 16 ounce or whatever, 20 ounce. It's like $1.99 here. There, it's like 15 pesos. So 15 pesos is like 75 cents. You know, so it's just, so over there, yeah, you can get your dick sucked for $5, $10, and to them it's like, ooh, I came up. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes, 10, 15 minutes?
It's also supply and demand. There's a lot of hookers in TJ. So
a lot of hookers.
A lot of hookers in Los Angeles.
And a lot of them are fucking men.
Yeah.
A lot of them are men, but it's accepted.
Same here.
It tripped me out there when I was there and I seen...
But do you want to pay $5 or do you want to pay $20? I mean, come on.
$5.
You know?
I mean, but we have the same epidemic.
I'm not gonna lie though. I try to find it for free. Like,
That's
if I
the
don't
route.
find it for free, my brother calls me a Mexican Jew, and I'll be like, I'll Jew it down. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna pay. Like, we can do it for free. Like, we can smoke and kick it. That's about it. But no, I usually have a black book that I can get into and be like, hey, what's up?
You know.
Matter of fact, somebody just texted me now and was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, well, yeah, I'll be free later after I go and you know, give somebody a write up and suspend them.
Yeah. Well, you know, you were talking about being a shy guy and all that stuff before the comedy, but with women, never have had any shyness.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Like, I used to be so shy. I used to be shy. Like, when I was a virgin till I was 16. My first sexual experience was with a lesbian. It was my sister's godmother, not godmother, but like her best friend that became my niece's godmother. She was a lesbian, and her and her girlfriend wanted to have a baby. So they were like, hey, can we, you know, she was 19, I was 16. And so she would get me drunk and take me to hotels and like ride me and shit. But I was like super shy, and I would have to get drunk because I was like shy of my penis because I wasn't circumcised, and I was just thought that was like, you know, like a monster, like
uncircumcised penises are fine.
No,
if you clean them, if you wipe them, it's fine. If they're dirty, that'll blow your hair back.
Oh yeah.
He was 16 years old.
I'm just saying, in
Sometimes
general.
I'm like, ooh, what's going on there?
This is for people who's listening.
It was no, and then I realized I was like, hey, that's just nature's way of saying that I don't need lubricant to masturbate.
That's right.
Or all that good stuff. But that, you know, each his own. So I was very uncomfortable with that, and so it was difficult. So I had girlfriends that would throw themselves at me.
So you were 16 years old, and there's a lesbian couple that wanted a baby, and they were pulling you to make that baby.
Yeah.
What made you, boss hog of the hood, that you're gonna be the sperm giver? Like, what was the situation in your neighborhood that 16-year-old sperm was the best sperm to make the baby with?
I don't know. She was just like, hey, I want your brother to, you know, I don't know. I guess I was the one. And then, so I remember nutting in her, right? And then thinking, oh, it didn't work. And then somehow, some way, like, I want to say like 10 months or a year later, she ends up getting pregnant, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not my baby, right? Even to this day now, I look at her and be like, is that my daughter? And I'm like, no, because then I seen a picture of a guy that she said was the dad, and it looked just like the baby. So in my head, it always stuck that, yeah, that's the dad.
Why were there no lesbians just trying to get pregnant when I was 16-year-old? Right? What is going on? That's a very rare circumstance. It wasn't. Oh yeah, we're gonna just.
You're from my age group. That is rare.
You would think that I would be like, oh, about it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. She was like so rough with me and she was really skinny and bony. That she's like super thin that like she was hurting me, and I was just like, oh my god, was it supposed to hurt like that? Like she was really, really like grinding me hard, like she was super, super thin, like 90 pounds or something. And
if she was a lesbian, why couldn't you just come in a cup and then her rub it in her pussy?
Babe, this is back before
for like $20 or something, you know?
It wasn't about money. Like,
it wasn't about. So she wasn't a lesbian. She really wanted to fuck you.
She was a lesbian.
I think,
but that was the easiest way. It was like,
I don't. You don't understand.
You could have busted a nut, and she could have just rubbed her.
Hold on. Yes.
Yeah,
in 2018
really?
now. In 2018, yes. But back, you and I are the same age, Abraham, and so like things you back then, like when I was 16, yeah, that would have been like probably a good idea. Like 19, oh yeah, well, we want to have a baby, so we're gonna fuck this guy. He's super cool. He'll be the dad. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Like there was zero social media, there was zero internet.
I think they thought that I was like clean, square.
Right, nice guy, innocent, not going to say anything.
A virgin. I was a virgin, so they were like, oh, this is the one.
But then they had another, like, dude on the side, too. So they...
No, after 10 months later.
Well, that was during the duration, because you thought it might have been...
What do you mean? You didn't fix it?
I think I caught something. Well, yeah, it went away after a while, but, like, I got, like, scaly or something.
Oh, my God, that's just chafing.
I don't know what the fuck
it was. You
can't
get an STD.
16? Yeah, I don't know about the chafing.
I don't know what that shit that was.
Let me tell you, you don't just get an STD from the queen of things that could get STD. You don't just get an STD and it just miraculously goes away without any antibiotics.
That's because you don't believe in the Lord. That's your problem.
Yeah, I'd be in church.
I don't believe in the Lord.
I'd be in church.
Oh my God.
I'd be in church and I would literally be like this, like,
itchy?
Like scratching myself, itching myself, like obvious. Like the pastor and everybody would be like nobody would say anything to me. I don't know what it was, but it just felt like hair? No, it was just like
yeah, that's like chafing from her hip bones.
Like I was like, what the fuck does this bitch Juice do to me? Like I don't know, but she fucked me up. That fucked me up.
You know, do you still know her? Is she still?
Yeah, we still talk. We laugh about it. Remember, when I tried to get you pregnant, remember you used to get me drunk. Like we laugh about it.
What? Why'd you get my skin all lizard-like?
No, I thought. Oh yeah, I don't know.
Now she knows,
right?
Does she have kids now?
She does. She ended up like I said, 10 months later, she ends up having a baby. And so I'm like, well, it can't be mine because I did the math. I was like, it takes 9 months, but it's just weird. Like I said, sometimes I still look at her daughter and I'd be like, fuck, is that bitch my fucking daughter? Like I still, but no. So I'm glad it's just one less child support payment that I had to pay, you know?
Yeah.
So either way though, like I have my son. I love my son. You know, he was an accident, but I love him to death, you know, and he gets on my fucking nerves. But I love him, you know. It's like last night he fucking burned another pot and pan because he gets high and he starts cooking and then he falls asleep. Then fucking wakes up because the fire alarm is going off and the pots are burned.
Holy
instead
shit.
of washing them, he throws them away. Dad would just buy new ones. I'm like, this ain't fucking Dixie cups and Dixie plates, bro. You can't throw these dishes away. This is ceramic. This is a fucking...
like 14 or
fucking
something?
21 years old.
Oh!
Motherfucker's 21 years old.
You should beat him.
Damn.
I almost threw the fucking burnt rice on his head last night when he was sleeping, but I was like, no, Abraham, no, don't do that. That you're gonna feel bad about it later. So, no, but I do
do that with Paul's hair.
And he lives with you?
No, then we're gonna be fighting, and then one of us is going to jail, and it's not gonna be me. So I don't know.
I'm just saying, but I don't know.
No, we almost got physical one time because he wasn't working. He was getting really disrespectful. Because I would always try to get him, like when he was younger, his son, to come live with me. He'd be like, no, Dad, when I graduate, I come live with you. And I'm like, no, that's when you're supposed to fucking be leaving on your own. So I'm like, okay, whatever. He wasn't raised with me, you know, most of his life. So I said, okay, when you turn 18, come live with me. And he did. But boy, we clashed so bad where one time he got his guitar and he raised it up because I told him I was going to fuck him up if he kept talking shit. And then fucking, he raised it up like this. So I was like, oh, you gonna hit me with that? So I said, okay, I got something for your ass. So I went in the kitchen and grabbed a big ass fucking knife. And I fucking ran up on his ass like this. I was like, put that motherfucker down. He was like, oh, put it down. Let's fight. I'm like, if I put this knife down, I said, you put that fucking guitar down that I bought him. And I said, if I put this down and we're gonna fight, one of us is going to the hospital, one of us is going to jail. And I'm not going to the hospital. I'm telling you right now. So he ends up putting it down. So I put the knife down. He ends up taking off, grabbing his shit. He leaves and fucking he goes down the street. And I look down to see where he was going. And all I see him is go in the middle of the street and grab the guitar and just start breaking it on the fucking street.
Oh my
God. And I was
God.
like, fuck, that's a guitar I just fucking bought him, fucking asshole. But I'm like, I'm glad it was the street and not my head because that's what he was going for. But now we get along way better. Now he's working. You know, he's 21. Like, other than last night, I'm just like, you know what? I'm over it. Like, as long as he washes him, like, I'm just going to see what he's going to do. Is he going to wash them? Is he going to throw them away? Because I know when come payday, he's buying a new set. And that's the relationship we have now. Yeah. You know, we talk, people trip on our relationship. They're like, oh my God, because we're 20 years apart. Exactly. And, you know, when we talk, it's like, oh, how was work? Oh, work was good. Oh, my boss is a bitch. Oh, really? Oh, how was your work? Oh, it was cool. I got yelled at. We just have that type of conversation. So it's good, you know. It's gotten better, but he still gets on my fucking nerves. And sometimes I want to sock him. But
it's hard to live with a 21-year-old.
Very.
Especially when they're your kid.
Very.
21-year-olds make a lot of fucking mistakes.
I work with them.
He always loses his fucking keys.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly having to make him new keys. Like, the other day I was with this chick in my back bedroom, and, you know, we were doing it, and she's like, oh, daddy. And then you hear this knock in the window. Dad, I forgot my keys. Can you open the door? So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I got confused for a second. I was like, what? Daddy, Dad? I was like, oh, hell no. And I was like, fucking boner killer. Like, totally fucked up my decision. I'm like, dude, can you stop losing your fucking key? Like, how hard is it? Like, he'll break in through my back window to get in. So now I'm starting to lock it so that he doesn't do that. Because if you lose your key, you're not breaking into this apartment again. I'm locking everything up. You're going to have to learn the hard way. So, yeah, plenty of times he sat outside till 2 a.m. until I got home because he motherfucking lost his key.
Is he getting a little fucked up and then just, like, leaving his shit all over the place?
He gets super stoned and he just gets careless. But he's learning though, you know. Like, I have to realize that the time that we spend apart, he was raised by another man most of his life, you know, from 7 on up, and his and his mom, which wasn't the best role model, you know. So I'm a little bit different, you know, and we've started to learn to get along, but yeah, it was just hard to learn and adapt to each other's personalities, because there's a bunch of shit that he just is not happy that I do, you know, like getting drunk too much or stuff like that. But he's genuinely though a good kid, you know. Aside from these minor shits, I remind myself, okay, he's not a gang member, he doesn't do drugs, you know, he's not a angry, mean person. He's a very peaceful soul, and he just does shit that irks me, you know, that gets on my, because I'm not used to it. You know, but I have to remember, I remember him being a baby, and I remember him being a child, and how much I loved him and how much I cried for him, you know, when I didn't see him, and, you know, how I got into drugs and how I just, you know, got out of drugs because I wanted to be there for him as he got older. So I remember these things, and I'm like, okay, this is what I wanted. This is where I'm at. I need to deal with these shits. You know, if you burn something, fine. You burned the pot, fuck it, let's throw it away, let's get a new one. Fine, he didn't wash the dishes, but he's going to wash his dishes right now, and I'll let him know, hey, get up and wash his fucking dishes, and boom, he'll get up, he'll do it, you know, and, but yeah, other than that, you know, we get along pretty well, you know, when he leaves and he's gone, like doing a show, or he goes to spend time with his, you know, family out in Ontario, like his sisters and, his mom. Like, I'll miss him. It'll be 2 days and I'll be like, fuck, I try to call him and he gets mad at me. He's like, why do you keep calling me? And I'm just like trying to find out if you're okay, where you're at, you know, so that father instinct is still in me. You know, as angry as he makes me, like I'm still like a dad. Like, I'm like, fuck, where are you? And I feel weird sometimes. I'm like, fuck. So now I'm starting to, like, you know, like even today I was like, okay, let me go check on him, see if he's okay. Not if he's okay, but like see if he's hungry, wants to get something, because I was hungry. So if I'm hungry, I think about him. Sometimes I'm at work and I won't eat because I feel like maybe he hasn't eaten. So I feel like, fuck, like I feel fucked up eating this good, nice meal. And then but then I realized, no, he has to learn. He wants to spend all his money on weed and you know, and that's fine. And whatever he spends it on, he's gonna have to learn, you know, that if he wants to eat well, and he does, you know, he takes care of himself. But at the end of the week, when he doesn't save, Dad, can I borrow some money? Dad, can I borrow some money? And he'll pay me back. You know, but I'm just letting him. I'm glad that he has a job and he's being responsible.
Could I say something to that? So sometimes, like, I don't have any children, but Copus and I live together and stuff. But I think like that about him. Not that he doesn't burn pots or anything, but I do worry, like, Oh, I mean, I work in downtown Los Angeles and I get an hour lunch and I have to go eat by myself. So sometimes I eat nice places and then I just want him to have a bite of what I'm having. So I literally will eat half of it and then bring it home just so he can taste it.
No.
But it's so, I don't know if I think it's like a thing that happens when you have like a connection with a person and especially to adult people. So he's an adult, you're an adult. It wasn't like he was an infant when he's living with you. So it's like an adult person. So you're like, hey, bro, clean your fucking shit.
Yeah. And exactly.
It's probably like that kind of relationship or like, oh, man, is he eating dinner? I don't want to just eat this if he hasn't. What are you going to do for dinner? That's kind of what you do when you...
Yeah. It could be a lot worse, because...
Could be.
I got...
It could.
A uncle who's in a similar situation or was.
Right.
He had a son. And my uncle is a little bit older than you. He's like in his early 50s.
Right.
But his son is in his early 20s.
Oh, okay.
And his son is a little piece of shit. Like in and out of jail, robbing people.
See?
Like
thank God for that.
Doing a lot of scandalous shit. So when
that was me, boo boo.
It's just personality problems and then normal stuff. Like I never met a 21-year-old that knows how to spend their money. Even the richest 21 years old, we all look at them on TV and see whatever the new teen idol, Justin Bieber or whoever it is, and be like, these bitches spending their money on that. It's just because at 21 you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I have to realize. So, like, I've come to terms, like, okay, he may not wash his dishes sometimes. He may not clean up after himself sometimes, but he's not a gang member. He's not in jail. He may spend his money on weed, but he's spending it on weed and not crystal meth or beer or to get drunk. Sure. So I kind of think that way, like, okay. So I kind of come to terms, like, okay, well, maybe it's going to take him some time, and as long as he's working and at least providing for himself, it's okay that he asks me once in a while for 10, 20 bucks, whatever, so I'm okay with that. So overall, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful. I'm happy, like my worst problems are at work dealing with my property managers and dealing with my staff and things like that. That's where the real issue is. I wish I could pull knives out on them.
Well, you had a moment where, you pull a knife out on him and he broke that guitar that you spent some money on. So that was a fucked up moment. But, overall things have gone smooth.
And you know what happened? He came back a few days later after he cooled off and was like, Dad, I'm sorry. I was like, Mijo, I'm sorry too, as well. And for weeks he was like depressed. He was like, Dad, I'm really depressed. I don't have that guitar. And I was like, yeah, you want to play this knife? No. No. So I'm
sorry, but to me that's so good and that's what you should, in my opinion.
Right.
I was raised in a home where that's how my dad treated us. You fuck up your shit and he'll be like, oh, well, here, how's that working out for you?
No, but get this. So I feel so bad for him and I'm just like, how does my own fucking son manipulate me like this? And I remembered him as a child, as a baby. He was like crying and I was like, Mijo, why are you crying? He was like, nobody loves me. And I'm like, I felt so bad. I was like, no, I love you. What do you mean nobody loves you? And I was like, you little motherfucker, like manipulative. So he tells me recently after he broke his guitar, Dad, I'm so depressed without my guitar. And I'm thinking, fuck, here we go again. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's go to Guitar Center. We went to Guitar Center. I bought this motherfucker an $1,100 fucking guitar. Don't even have a car myself at the time. Have a fucking Metro PCS cheap ass phone. But I bought him an $1,100 guitar. At this time, he really wasn't working then.
You're a good dad.
A few months later, he decides he wants a drum set. He traded the guitar for a $700 drum set that he painted black that was blue. And he made a little extra money off of it. I was so angry. I was like, you know what, motherfucker? You're going to pay me back for this guitar. So slowly but surely, he's been giving me some money. And I have to put guilt trips on him to get money out of him. Because he somehow thinks that I owe him something. And I'm like, no, fool. Your life is your life. My life is my life. get your life. And as a matter of fact, the last time I had that talk with him, he disappeared for like a week. And I'm like, Abraham, where are you at? What are you doing? What's going on? Are you okay? And he just texted me back, I'm getting my life. And I'm like, oh, okay. A few days later, he came back. He was wearing a fucking construction hat the orange vest. He had the boots. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, I was totally shocked. And I was like, oh, okay, so that worked. But yeah, because I got to the point where I started treating him like shit. I started treating him like he was a nobody. I started treating him like he was a stranger. I started treating him like he was just a piece of shit. He was nothing to me.
Tough love.
And that made him break. That made him realize that, okay, my dad is done. Like, I'm done fucking with my dad. And he fucking, to this day, he gets up at 4 a.m, walks to the Union Station a mile, jumps on the train, goes to San Bernardino, goes to fucking downtown, goes to Claremont, goes everywhere to get to work. The other day he was like, Dad, you know what's weird? No matter where my job site is, I always get there on time. And I'm like, see, mijo, whenever you do your part, God's going to do his part for you. When you take that step of faith and you do your part, God's going to do the rest. And sure enough, he fucking goes and does his thing. And like, I can't ask for anything more, man. So now I'm able to focus on my comedy. And he tells me, Dad, you're not funny. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm not funny? Well, why am I traveling? Why am I getting paid? And he just fucks with me. But I would let him listen to clips when he's like, oh, Dad, you are funny. I'm like, yeah, fucker. Fucker.
You are funny.
He's a little
That's
asshole.
Awesome. So in the comedy world, can you tell me your biggest upset? Like where you're like, oh, I thought, it was this, but,
yes,
then I got hit with this.
Yes. My biggest upset was when I performed for a room full of comedians.
Yeah.
And I realized that, oh, these motherfuckers aren't human.
What?
And these fuckers ain't human. Like, I'm used to performing in front of all audience where none of them are comedians.
How'd you get it like that without doing the open mics first?
My brother, Steven Smokey Olmos, he's a comedian. We used to pick up dead bodies together.
Yeah.
When we were picking up dead bodies, I was going to school doing radio broadcasting. He was like, hey, I want to do radio broadcasting. So he moved to Fresno and became the #1 show in Fresno out there, because I inspired him to do that.
Sure.
So he did that. Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias came to his #1 show, and he was like, hey, I want to do comedy. So he plugged him in, and he started doing comedy at the Hollywood Improv, all the major clubs. And he became homeless, so he knew that I was already established here in Los Angeles, where I'm at now. And he came to live with me. So I started booking his shows, and I started going with him, and I'd be like, oh, bro, wow, you're funny, bro. Wow, you're doing comedy. That's amazing. And then one day they're like, hey, we need a host. Can you host for us? And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going to host. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Deep down inside, I really wanted to do it. So I thought to myself, I said, these guys that have been on TV asking me to host a show with a live audience, if I tell them no, they're never going to ask me again. So I said, fuck it. I went up there, boom, got on stage, made a complete ass out of myself. Everybody, it was in Newport Beach. Everybody in the audience was fucking white. Like, it was so fucking white in the room, I thought Jesus was coming. I was like, oh, I'm not ready. Like, really, it was so bad. Like, I was just like, fuck, this is scary as fuck. So when I got off stage and brought the first comic up, it was a black comedian. He goes, now, was that the scariest cholo y'all ever seen or what? Everybody started busting up laughing, and I was like, oh, hell no. So that's when I came up with these jokes. Like, I came up with these jokes. Like, the last time I seen that many white people, the last time I seen that much white in the room, Michael Jackson was still alive. The last time I seen that much white in the room, the KKK was having a piñata party. And all my years of being a Mexican, I never seen a Darth Vader piñata. Is it Darth Vader or Darth Vader? Darth, right?
Yeah.
Like, I came up with these fucking dumbass racist jokes because I was so angry that all these motherfucking white people laughed at me because of this motherfucker. So I came up with these jokes, and I told my brother, who's a comedian, Steven, I was like, bro, I came up with these jokes. So he was like, good, you're going to do them the next time. I was like, what? There's a next time? And I got scared again. So sure enough, I did it the next time. I did those jokes and, I just hosted and then boom. And then I was like terrified then. And then, there was a live audience. And then he was like, somebody told me, you know what? The third time is a charm. When you do it the third time, it's going to be the best one ever. So I told myself, I said, okay, I'm going to try the third time. And I actually looked forward to going on stage the third time. So I did it again. And sure enough, I got more laughs. So, every time he got booked a show, because he was already established, he would tag me, he would bring me, and I would either host for them or I would just do like a 5-minute set, 3-minute set. I would open up for them, and that's how I got started. So I always did it in front of a live audience, and they were always there to laugh. So I started traveling. Like I set goals for myself. I said, okay, this year I want to do an improv. So I did an improv full of 350 people.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was just like I never did it. So
you skipped that step because you inspired, your brother to get in with the radio, and then he comes back to LA. He's like, dude, you did this. You introduced me to Fluffy, in some sort of kind of way. And, I'm just going to take you with me. And plus, you're helping them book shows. You give them a space to live. Obviously, you're trading quite a bit. Yep. Sacrifice right there.
Yep.
A lot of space, you know, and that's awesome.
Yeah. So
then you went to the open mic. What brought you to the open mic then? Just to work some stuff out?
I started hanging out at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And I started meeting people like Lila Hart. I started meeting people. She introduced me to other people. I
love Lila Hart.
They were doing, doing open mics. And so I remember I got on stage and I was like, fuck. Like the jokes where I'm like, okay, they kill on a real live audience. They were just like, so I was like, fuck, this is weird. Yeah. Like this is so fucking weird. And so I was just like, okay, what? So I had to start figuring out, okay, I'm not as funny as I think I am. I'm not as talented as I think that I am. Because if I can't make these comedians laugh and I can then something's not right. So I started to do more open mics and I started to learn how to get out of my comfort zone to make these motherfuckers laugh.
All right.
And that's what I started to do. And that's why I started to do open mics and I started to do shows where, and you know what the funny thing is? I was the first motherfucker to put Lila Hart on a show with a live audience. I booked her for a first show.
Murder the Mic.
No, not Murder the Mic. It was a show that we did for Narcotics Anonymous. And she was like, I'm so scared. I'm like, what? I've seen you kill on open mics in front of comics. I've seen you kill. And in my head, I'm thinking, no, if you kill in an open mic and you make these comedians laugh, you're going to murder fucking in front of this live audience. And sure, she was so terrified and I had to be like, no, you're Lila Hart. No. Yeah. No, you can't be scared. And sure enough, she went. She has the utmost respect for me right now that you don't even understand. She's always telling me, you're my best friend. And she's always telling me, Abraham, thank you so much, because I gave her that opportunity to perform in front of it, because that's what I do.
Sure.
That's what I do. I perform in front of a live audience, and
which really should be the goal.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I tell myself. Like, no, you're already doing this, so don't worry that you're not making these comics laugh because they're comics. So, and then I took her to Arizona. She ended up killing there. She headlined for us there. She ended up killing there. Like I told her from the beginning, I said, you know what, one day I'm going to take you, you're going to headline. She didn't think I was serious about it. She was even scared in Arizona. She was like, I'm so scared. I'm like, Lila, you're Lila Hart. You're fucking funny. Why are you scared? I didn't understand it until she explained to me that all she's ever done was open mics and nobody's ever given her an opportunity to do it in front of a live audience. Yeah. And I did that for her twice. And when I took her to Arizona the last time, she ended up getting booked to headline another show out there and got paid. And she took another comic, but we'll leave that at that. And,
Lila.
No, right? But that's okay, though. I'm just the fact that I was able to open up a door for her to help somebody else.
That's really beautiful,
that's
though.
a beautiful part of it.
That's really nice. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Abraham, you're a sweetheart, even though you picked up dead bodies and put flowers in their hair.
Right.
You're a sweetie.
Yeah, on crystal meth.
Yeah. Well, I used to do meth just to be skinny. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, shit.
I used to sniff little lines of it just so I could be thin.
No, but can I tell you a story really quick? Last
you
night.
Have a 10 p.m. appointment.
What time is it?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay, good. I'll have to. Yeah.
I don't care. You can tell me
all the stories.
I love stories.
I when I did the show in Arizona, I did at the 10 p.m. Prov. Once again in front of hundreds of people. White people again, and I killed.
Why are you so scared of white people?
Because I'm so used to doing like either Latinos and blacks and a few whites. But when it came to doing an all white, I had to be like, was this something that I had to just psych myself out and be like, no, fool, it's okay. So when I killed in Arizona,
though, because like I look by like white people would like say I'm white, but I grew up in an all Mexican family, and I grew up in a 80% Latino neighborhood. And when I moved to a white neighborhood when I was in high school, it was scary. Like, it's different when you're just not around, like, people. It's very different.
Yeah, it is.
Now I'm comfortable around almost all types of people. I don't know. Maybe if you put me in a room with, like, some indigenous people, like, it might be, like, rough. But, for the most part, I feel really comfortable. But you got to be exposed, right?
Yeah, you have to. And that's what, being comfortable in my skin, being comfortable on stage has allowed me to perform in front of, I don't care if it's Chinese, black, whatever the race, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to make them laugh.
Yeah.
But the last show I did, and you were saying that there's really sweet that I did it for Lila Hart. Well, me and my brother, that's what we do. Steven, we help comics that are up and coming, that are brand new, and we give them a stage time. We encourage them. So I told this comic that's only done comedy 4 times in Arizona to come do the Kill Tony. He drove last night from Arizona to come to the Kill Tony. He was the first one they called.
Hell yeah.
He went on stage. He did his thing. I told the guy next to me, I was like, dude, this guy's my buddy. He came from Arizona. They were like, where are you from? And once he wasn't funny at all because he started doing racist jokes. And with everybody
the black banana jokes?
He was a Mexican dude that looks white, just like Copas. He did jokes that there were other people were like, what? But he learned the hard way. But so just to say, just to say that just to know that I encouraged him to drive all the way down here to take a chance to do the Kill Tony, and I convinced him to come down here and do that, and for him to take my advice and to go and to get called and to learn so much from that, and I was like, I felt good because I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what it's about. Okay, there was another guy that came all the way from, he was there last night also, from Utah. Matter of fact, he went to have fried chicken with Aphrodite because I was like, Aphrodite, these guys, they really love you. They want to have some, can they come? And she was like, sure.
What?
I convinced this guy yesterday because he wanted to do comedy. I convinced him yesterday to start his own open mic in Utah. I convinced him to purchase a mic and equipment I said, look, if there's only one open mic a week, then you need to create an open mic and you need to create that platform for yourself so you can have that voice. So he got so excited. He called his lady. He was like, dude, I was talking to my lady all night. We're going to this weekend, we're going to buy the equipment. I'm going to find a spot. I'm going to start doing the doom. So
that's so awesome.
So that's what I do. So when Lila told me she was terrified, I was like, why? This is what you do, right? But I get it because in front of Tuesday night, or was it Sunday night, I did the show in front of a bunch of comics, and I bombed all the way till the end, but I didn't care. I was enjoying watching their faces be like I was enjoying watching their faces just like look like, what the fuck? But once I got to my last joke, like I was so over it that I don't give a fuck. And they laughed. They liked that last joke. And I was like, okay, that's all I need.
And then you got Roast Battle coming November 20th, which is different.
Yes.
So you got, you're doing what you're encouraging everybody else to do. You're stepping out of your comfort zone and just trying different things.
Yes. And you know what, Copas? I think that's my blessing.
So cool.
I really think that's my blessing to be able to have that platform and that stage to be able to do that because I'm still searching like everybody. Sure. I just want that opportunity, and this is a great opportunity to be able to roast Aphrodite, for her to be my good friend, to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it, and how many people wish they can roast her? You know,
a lot, I bet.
And this is going to open doors for her, and it's going to open doors for me. So I think that, you know, paying my dues and always playing it forward has opened these types of doors for me.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing.
I think you're going to tell us a meth story, though, before you're going to go.
The meth, yeah. Yeah, the meth, how she was saying, I picked up an old lady who had a beautiful garden. She was a pilot. She lived a good life. You know, she loved to tend to her flowers, and a little voice told me, get one of her flowers on the way out and put it on the side of her ear.
Yeah.
And I listened to that voice inside of me, and I went and I got a yellow flower. And as we took her out, we asked the family, do you want us to cover her face or leave it open? They said, leave it open. They didn't want to see her covered. So we left her open, you know, just the top part. I went, I picked the flower. My brother was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just hold on. I went, I picked a nice, beautiful flower. I put it right here in her ear. And I was like, look, doesn't she look peaceful? Doesn't she look like she's sleeping? The family was like, oh my God, yes, she does. Oh my God, thank you so much. I was like, now she could take a piece of her garden with her. They were like, yes, thank you. I didn't get fired. I could have gotten fired. It could have went bad. But I have this voice inside of me that sometimes tells me, you know, we all have it. You know, our intuition,
trust.
You know. Yeah, and I listen to that voice sometimes, even though it's like, people are like, what the fuck, Abraham? Are you serious? Yeah.
All
Abraham,
right,
I experienced that same voice.
Well, that was a beautiful story. It wasn't really a meth story, but that's okay.
Well, no, I was twacked out.
Oh, you were twacked out?
I was twacked out, yes.
So you're listening to the voices on the meth.
Yeah.
That's something I got to tell everybody who doesn't dabble with drugs in the spiritual world. You can get voices from God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, even when you're twacked out. Even when, you know, you're drunk and you're, you know, drinking every day. Like, God will talk to you no matter what state you're in.
Yeah, I got a
This guy just you want to?
So you know, it's not, doesn't mean that it's all bad. Because I've gotten lots of ideas and lots of different things, and it's worked out for me, and then sometimes it hasn't.
I've cleaned my home on meth. I've created some of the greatest masterpieces. I've interior decorated the shit out of my home and created some shit that you would never believe that people actually paid for. Like, oh, you made that? Yeah. You want to buy it?
I'm laughing like a witch over here because I agree.
It's the truth. Yeah. Well, one time, me and my friend decided to take a walk at 2 a.m, all methed out. And then so 5-0 rolled by. So we seen 5-0. Instinct was to take off running. We fucking took off running, and fucking 5-0 made a U-turn and fucking started chasing us. I had built a gate at my home back in Ontario that locked from the inside. We ran through it. I fucking locked that gate. Boom. The cops couldn't get in it. So we fucking took off running and fucking, and I made that gate to keep the tweakers out, right? Because they couldn't open it from the outside.
Let them know it saved one.
Right? Exactly. Soon as we fucking got through that gate, we were running. Boom. We both fell and tripped over each other. By the time we were getting up, the cops were jumping the fence. My front door was open. We fucking went in there. We locked the door, closed it. I ran through my back bedroom and jumped the fence, went next door where my stepmom lived, went in her house, under her bed, and hid there. You can hear the helicopters coming. My friend, he fucking went in the fucking attic, but he climbed the wall like Spider-Man, like it was a hallway. He just with his feet. Yeah. He went up there. He was like, and when it was all done and over with, my fucking other friend opened the door and let them in. They looked for us. They couldn't find us. Or like, damn, where the fuck did these fools go? So I'm next door. I'm under the bed in my mom's pad, my stepmom, and then he's upstairs in the attic. When all was all said and done, he's like, Abraham, do you know you got demons in your attic? I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, the whole time there was eyeballs looking at me like Spider-Man. I was like, motherfucker, that was you, bitch. That was you fucking running up there like Spider-Man. But this motherfucker was like, he swore that I had demons in my attic. I was like, bro, we didn't get arrested, so whatever.
There might have been demons there that night, but they were on your side.
Yeah,
so
I sprained my ankle that night. Oh, it was bad.
Oh, man.
It was bad.
I know about
no case, it's a good.
It's bad. It's bad.
I don't know if it's that bad. It depends on how you use it. I've never smoked it. I smoked it. I
smoked it.
I only sniffed it.
I smoked it.
I started smoking it.
I've never smoked it.
And I fell in love.
I've never done that. Even though my very best friend at the time, two of my best friends, one smoked it out of a bong. and the other one out of a pipe where they twist.
The first time I did it?
Me just sniffed it. Burns like hell, but I only did it just to lose weight and get a little more creative.
Yeah.
I came up with some great ideas.
Yeah.
Bad execution, but great ideas. I did accomplish a lot of things.
Yeah.
I could get a lot done in a day.
Yeah, exactly.
I still slept every night, though.
Yeah, no,
some
not
people
me.
don't sleep.
I would literally be up for a week, I would eat once a week, sometimes twice a week, and I called it nighttime fasting. I would call it nighttime fasting, and I would be like, my week literally turned into one day. Like, it was weird. Like, my week turned, like, my eyes wouldn't close. I just wouldn't. I was bad. It was bad.
So for me, it was more like I could sleep like 3 hours, like, you know.
Not me. It was so bad for me.
But I'd wake up, have coffee, go on a jog, like whatever I would do, go to work, see customers, paint a picture, bedazzle something, take care of animals. I had like this whole thing, and I was like yapping to people on the phone, neighborly to everyone, doing grocery shopping, doing all this shit.
I would do the same thing.
People just thought I was like so productive.
I would build things.
Well, it's like the same thing as being on like diet pills. You know, it's basically the same drug as like a diet pill.
I don't know if it's the same drug as
it is. It's they're all amphetamines.
Sometimes I decide.
I mean, it's different. Like when you're smoking it.
I was a Ritalin kid, though. They gave it. I was taking Ritalin since I was in first grade. So for me, like as an adult sniffing a little meth, I'm like, oh, what's the difference? It's just like Ritalin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that being said, Erica loves meth. So, guys, if you want to send any meth to the dot, just don't send it
don't send
to
me.
me.
I think cocaine better. I'll take all of that you got.
The worst thing I've done on meth,
Who said I love meth? Don't ever say that.
Well, you're loving it right now. You're like, I
used to love it.
Took care of all my chores on it. Never fucked me up.
But I didn't love. One time I plugged my eyebrows. One time I plugged my eyebrows so bad and went to work like that. They were literally like the McDonald's arches.
Okay. That's a different meth situation. I don't know what the fuck I
was doing. And I was just like, what the fuck, Abraham?
You had those eyebrows?
I'll tell you, meth, when you're rapping, is like a superpower. I recorded a whole album in one day when I was on meth. Because as long as you got someone engineering for you, and you don't have to really like be in tune with the levels, because your ears will be all fucking off, but you could like really talk quicker than you normally can. That's why I think a lot of these rappers that are just like speed rapping, I think it's because they're really on that speed, you know.
Hey, well, you must really love meth too. The whole thing is, it's the same thing as a hooker, or a stripper. Like, really, you just show up, smiling, do your little dance super fast, do this, next. Who cares? You don't care.
Needless to say,
care about.
I'm happy that I'm off it. I couldn't be functioning and doing the things that I'm doing now.
Can't be a dad when you're on meth.
That you can't. And you know what? I don't understand the comics, and I'm not knocking anybody. Do what you want, but not even cocaine. Like, I hear that a lot of comics are on cocaine, and I'm just like, why? Like, I don't even want to go on stage drunk. I don't want to go on stage buzzed. I don't even want to go on stage on anything. I want to be completely sober because I want to get the full Abraham out there.
I think that's the best way you can really go at it, especially when you get into a state level of learning and then you become dependent on it. So you don't have that little bag on you. You feel like you can't get on stage. You don't have that extra 20 to put, on the bar and get a couple of drinks in you. So, then you're all nervous when you get up. Definitely, you don't want to get stuck inside the pattern. Experimenting's kind of fun sometimes. Hey, you know what? I'm going to try an edible on stage. Do a little Adderall on stage. See what it's like. But
I'll do it in TJ.
At the end of the day, you don't want to like it too much, because then what? You're going to do it every single time you're on stage?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you could possibly do from someone who did to get naked on stage. Like, I never drank or anything really to get naked. Nothing.
Shit,
Even to perform as porn, I didn't drink.
I did.
Or drugs,
like
nothing.
I just said the other day, I tried Xanax and drinking, and I was like, woke up I was like, why am I naked in my room? This is weird. Like, I was like, where's my clothes at? Yeah, so I just try to stay away from any of that stuff. I drink beer, you know, and whatnot, but I don't go any further than that. And when I go on stage, definitely I would like to stay sober because plenty of times I got super drunk just to be able to get up on stage. And I told myself, you know what, this is not going to work. I need to be able to drive myself around. And if I'm going to be that comic that is going to drink because whatever, I don't want to be that comic. So thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the dot. Hopefully next time we could do it drunk, maybe a couple of lines of meth or something.
I'm so down.
A little bit wild.
I'm so down. I am so down.
I love meth.
I'm just joking.
Definitely we will drink. Do you still have that bottle of Kettle One?
No, we drank it.
Ah.
We can buy another one.
I'll bring something. We'll bring something.
We'll get it.
I'd love
another
to.
bottle at the
Maybe
time.
we can cook. You say you're Italian. We could cook some spaghetti.
Yeah, when we get into
I just cooked for Aphrodite. Okay, if you want to come over here again, here's the thing. After the roast, after your roast, after Copus's rap battle, which is November 10th, and yours is the 20th. So we'll book a time to have Abraham, you back on the show, and I will make you...
The two champions will return.
Yeah.
The two champions will return, and I will make white wine garlic butter pasta with shrimp or chicken or scallops.
Nice.
We don't know what the protein will be. But how about that?
I can bring the shrimp.
No, I'll get it.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm fussy about that. Don't worry. I'll do it.
Well, whatever. I'll bring whatever.
Just yourself.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll bring something.
But give us your Instagram or anything.
Or we're gonna put that all inside the show notes. But yeah, you could lay it out for people that don't want to read.
Abraham, Abraham, _Boche, B as in boy, OCHE for Instagram.
Thanks again, man. Really do appreciate it. It was really fun talking. Can't wait for round 2.
Yes.
Thank you,
so
Abraham.
much.
We love you guys.
You guys are awesome. Yes.